Hey, welcome Pathfinders. This is Trevor from the Montana Style, and I want to welcome you to another adventure. And today we're talking about the dangers of Glacier National Park and the things that you should never do when you're in the park. The first thing that you need to consider when you're in the park is to stay on the trails. Even though it seems like you can get off the trail and it's going to be okay, the forest can be really tricky and you can get lost really easy. Not only that, but getting off the beaten trail, remember there's millions of people in the park and you can just ruin the beauty of it. So stay on the trails. That's the first thing to never do. The second thing to never do is to never underestimate the water.
The number one danger to visitors in Glacier National Park isn't bears, but slips and falls near water. As the park draws closer to opening Going to the Sun Road, spokeswoman Lauren Alley is reminding everyone to be on the lookout for slippery moss-covered rocks and logs near open streams and cliffs. Alley says the park is almost 3,000 miles of stream.
So that water is fast. It's happened to me. I haven't slipped and fallen in, but I've been down by the water, and that's just something to keep in mind at all times. Another thing to think about is how difficult the trails are. You need to know what kind of physical shape you're in before you start tromping around in the park. Underestimating the trails in Glacier Park is another big mistake. Some of the trails seem like they're really harmless, and you'll get going for a while, then all of a sudden they're real steep, they're slick, and you may not be in shape for it, you might not be dressed for it, whatever it is, and you can get yourself in trouble really quick by not understanding the trail. So check with the rangers, make sure you know the trails you're going to hike on. Now, number 4 is a tricky one because Glacier National Park is dangerous, and there are grizzly bears and there are black bears. They're not pets. I see people all the time getting out and wanting to take pictures or whatever when they see grizzly bears. I live in Montana. There's grizzly bears within 3 miles of my house sometimes. They're dangerous. You need to make sure to have a couple of things. I never hike in the park without bear bells. They might sound stupid or whatever, but put a bell in your pack. You can buy them usually, if you don't have them with you, you can buy them in the travel center or in the souvenir shops, whatever. It might seem foolish or weird. They help. The next thing is you need to have bear spray. And here's the caveat I have with bear spray. With bear spray, you need to know how to use it. So before you ever go to the park, you need to go down to your local hardware store, sporting goods store, whatever. Order it online. Find a good bear spray. Learn how to use it, because bear spray doesn't do you a bit of good if you don't know how to use it, or it's in a place where you can't get it and you need it. It can save your life. And the type that I like to use is UDAP. It was made by a company here in Montana. I trust it. That's what I use. The next thing, and this is crazy because a lot of times on the channel here, I get people asking me, should I go to the park in April? Should I go to the park in October or November or whatever? The conditions change like really, really fast. So it can be really nice at 1 minute. The next thing you know, the weather can drop, it can rain. Make sure, especially if you're going into the backcountry, make sure that you're prepared, you have the right clothing, and you know what you're doing. And even on a quick day hike, it can get wet and cold, rain a little bit, and the trail can get slick. So make sure you have the right gear. A big mistake, I see people all the time hiking in tennis shoes and things like that in the park. They're crazy. Don't do it. Another thing I see people all the time, they're out, they're wherever, they're in the campgrounds or whatever, and they've got their cooler out and they're barbecuing, and it sounds like great fun, and it is. But you have to remember there's wildlife, there's bears, there's things that in Glacier Park that can cause you real big problems. And the thing that attracts the most is your food. So you need to learn food safety. If you're going to have a cooler and it's going to be out, or it's going to be, whatever, make sure that it's in a bear box, or make sure that it's bear approved, locked down, be safe with your food. It can attract all kinds of critters, and you just don't want to have the trouble. This is kind of a no-brainer, but people forget to bring enough water. I have seen people on many trails, and I'll come by them, and they'll be just hot and thirsty, and it's like they didn't realize how hot it would get, how fast it would get hot, and they didn't think about bring in enough water. So make sure to pack a little extra water. It never hurts. And kind of a bonus tip, and this is something that you got to realize. We're going to have 3 million people in the park this summer, and they're going to be there over the period of 90 to 100 days. So there's going to be a lot of people. Parking's difficult. You have to really be nice. Take your time. Be patient with people, even if they're not patient with you, and you're going to love it. The park's beautiful. I try to get up there as much as I can. I hope you enjoy it. If you want to learn more about the park, I have other videos below. And if you got anything out of this channel, hit the subscribe and the like button. I appreciate it. It helps me out. I look forward to seeing you on the trail. Take care, my brothers.